Minasan konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Welcome, yokoso. This is Musings from Japan, number 41.
41. Wow.
That's one, Greg. 40?
41.
One, yes. Okay.
That's right.
Oh, man. 41. It's been a long time. I know that you've been busy.
Not
been
that
busy.
long.
Oh, well.
We've been busy, but you know how
We've been busy. It's a month, you know. Actually, this is actually more reasonable. You know, we were at a breakneck speed, you know, churning them out every other week.
Sometimes once every week.
Yeah, that's too much. Right now, this is kind of cool. We have a lot to talk about. So welcome. And I am Mark Marin.
I am Greg Taylor.
And we are coming to you live from the world.
The world.
Yeah.
This is Musings from Japan, though.
It is Musings from Japan, but we have a Japanese perspective, and we have a take that comes from a Japanese view, no matter where we are.
Absolutely, that's right.
So first of all, Greg, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, just okay. Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. It's around Thanksgiving time.
Happy Thanksgiving and coffee or die.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving.
Did you have turkey for Thanksgiving?
No, I was a turkey.
Oh, really?
I was working. See, this is Japan. So in Japan, we have Thanksgiving Day, but our Thanksgiving Day was November 23.
That's right, November 23rd.
Was Tuesday. And what that is called Labor Thanksgiving Day. So if you're a laborer, you can give thanks that, oh God, thank God I have a job. I don't know what else you could do. I mean, America has Labor Day, right? In September. And what do you do on Labor Day? It's like the end of barbecue season. I think it's kind of that's what
it's a barbecue.
Yeah, you know, so barbecue. Oh, barbecue.
People take the day off and have a barbecue and
go to the beach. In California, at least, they go to the beach, you know, enjoy the final summer weather, you know, because then school starts and, you know, the fall season, whatever starts. Here in Japan, the Labor Thanksgiving or Labor Day starts on 11/23, the 23rd of November. 11月23日 今年はこれ火曜日 This year was right. on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I worked on Monday, had Tuesday off, and go back to work Wednesday. So Thanksgiving Day in America, which is the fourth Thursday of November, I was working. Yep. So
no Thanksgiving turkey for you.
No turkeys. I didn't even have chicken. What did I eat on Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
maybe pasta. I don't know.
We at my home in Okazaki, we would have turkey. I have Facebook things from 4 years ago, you know. So
you have the catered nice turkey and all that. And
not catered, but
it's catering means delivered. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay. It's delivered by Rakuten or whatever. So it's where we order it from Rakuten, and sometimes it came from France, and sometimes it came from
a French turkey.
Was it Australia? I don't know.
An Aussie
I'm
turkey.
not sure. I can't remember. But
maybe the Australian one could have been like an ostrich or an emu.
You know, I think though at Christmas time I want to have a bigger turkey,
like a wallaby.
No, but one that'll fit in the oven in Okazaki. So
you mean Aichi, like a pheasant?
Yeah.
You have a bigger oven than I do.
Did you ever eat Cornish game hens?
Oh yeah, I like those. Those are nice. I've cooked them. Actually, what I did once, I remember in California, way back in the day, when I was in college in Fresno, I actually bought some Cornish game hens and I stuffed them, each one, and baked them like that. So
yeah, they're really good that way.
Really good with a balsamic vinegar on it, red wine. I remember that recipe.
Yeah,
Thank Greg. I get now. Maybe forget Thanksgiving. Maybe Christmas dinner will be pheasant. That'll be good.
Well, you know what? So we've been doing Musings from Japan since March. Was it March or April of 2020? Now that I forget. We could look easily on video number 1.
I don't think it was March. I think it was like in April or May?
It wasn't as late as May. It was April, I think.
Really?
But I don't know. It's hard to say. But either way, we've been doing it since that. And then now, as of the time of this recording, it's late November going into December. So
yeah.
We just passed Thanksgiving. And
now we're getting ready for here in Japan. Christmas started right after Halloween. At least in Niigata, where I'm at, there's decorations up and music's been playing, and so they've already got Christmas going here.
Oh, so, yeah, great.
And I've been the band Rise Up Big Band that I direct. We're kind of we have a combo out of the band because not all the members can participate because of their pandemic concerns. We're going to do the Japan American Society, the Nichibei Kyokai. Christmas live, my usual live. Last year was canceled. All we did was kind of like a online event, but this year we're going to have people come. So we're going to do it at Italiacan.
Oh, great.
The big ballroom.
That hotel's almost 150 years old.
Right. The first hotel in Japan that was owned by a foreigner.
That's remarkable.
Amazing. It's in Niigata.
Yeah.
Who knew? Anyway, but we're going to be doing a Christmas live, and this year I'm doing a Christmas mini symposium. So I'll have some guests, and I'll be doing a talk on how we celebrate Christmas here in Japan. And then after that, we'll do a Christmas live show with the Rise Up Big Band, and I'll be hosting that and singing, and some guest singers from the Music Semongaku will come. That'll be fun, and it's the first time for the Japan American Society to have people come live. So we're looking forward to it. 150 people in that big, remember that big ballroom?
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll have a stage in the middle, and we're going to set tables around, and we can fit 150 people, so 4 or 5 at a table only, and with the glass partitions in the table and mask and all that stuff. No foods, only drinks would be like water and tea. That's it. No alcohol.
Interesting. Well, alcohol kind of lets people let down their barriers, which
literally in some cases, yeah.
Yeah.
But the big thing about the no alcohol thing is like this Japan, to be honest, this Japan American Society, these people love to drink.
Yeah. That's great.
I mean, in the past, the Christmas live had become a Christmas debacle. I don't want to say debacle or a debauchery or anything, but it was people let their hair down. I mean, and granted, everyone, I'll let you know, the most of the members, and Greg knows he's participated at a couple of these events. The members are on the average. I think the average age of the membership of the Nichibei Kyokai is about 68. Now, I'm one of the younger members. That's the scary part. It's getting younger now. We're adding more people. We've gotten more recruits the last year. We're adding more people.
If there's a way, I mean, some of these organizations are great. And for example, they have the service clubs in Japan. They have the Lions Club International or things like that.
Lions and Kiwanis are here. I used to be a member of the Rotary Club here in Japan.
Yeah. So they have all these clubs here, but I don't know about the young people getting involved in those clubs anymore. And I'm not sure about Japan, but definitely not America.
Really?
I did have an association with some Lions Club people in Japan, and my father was a Lions Club member for 50 years. And
your father, not your father-in-law.
My father.
Right. Okay.
Right. No, my father in America. He was, and the club is no longer in existence because they started in 1964 where he lived, and then the membership over the decades just dwindled and dwindled. And,
now, is that because is there
I just don't think young people do those kinds of activities.
Right. I mean, is it because there's no, I was going to say no advertising or no outreach?
I don't know if it's that or what, but I just, it's like, it's kind of like when you go to an opera or like the symphony concert and you see mostly people older than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's it's one of those things that people don't. There's so many different things to entertain the people or fill their time.
Right.
So,
well, the other thing, and in noticing it here in Japan, I mean, I don't know in America so much anymore because I'm divorced from that. You would have a better take on it than I would. But in Japan, I noticed the students every year that the students now that I get are farther now. Of course, the generational, I'm older, but the farther they get into the education, the less interaction or the less willingness to interact with me is, how we say, is apparent. I mean, they like English, they like studying, they're good students and they're good people, but there is no enthusiasm to actually have face-to-face. But if you're doing it by a chat, or like right now, I can hear your phone going off, things like that.
My watch.
Or your watch, which is,
it was a message for Max Value, Okazaki.
It was, yeah, but
the shopping store, the supermarket.
But it's that kind of thing, that the students are more interested, because when I talk to the student face to face, it's kind of very short, not very through composed. It's not, not very deep. But then when I get on a chat with a student, man, they tell me things that I didn't know. They just really go nuts on a chat.
Well, and that's their method of communication.
Right. And I think clubs like a Rotary Club or Lions Club or the Kiwanis Club, especially in Japan, when I was a member of the Rotary Club, when I was in it, I was 45 years old, but the youngest member from me was 60.
Yeah.
And they were trying to recruit, but they don't here in Japan, they don't actively recruit younger people. It's all done by association. You know how it is in Japan. If you're an elite member here, you invite another elite member from another organization to join you. That's how the Rotary Club stays alive here, or the Lions Club. They gather other elite members. So if you're moving up in a company and you get to a certain position, then they invite you to join this group. For example, that's how the Japan American Society survives in Niigata. I think it's the second oldest chapter in Japan. Ooh. of the society. We were supposed to celebrate our 60th year in existence last year, but the pandemic killed it. We had a whole extravaganza. We were going to invite the ambassador from the US to come. I mean, we had all these things. It was a 2-year plan we had worked out, and I was going to have a special band that would do BGM, background music, and then a small show, but all of it was canceled because of the pandemic. But all of the members that I'm working with are my age or older, and I'm 60 now. So, and I'm still considered one of the younger members of the group. That's the problem. And of course, Japan's an aging society. So,
yeah, it's amazing how you even see that. And we both know this based on our 40-year experience with Japan.
Yeah.
You've lived in Japan for 30 years, more than just about 30 years now. So
30 years now, but we've been exposed to it for more than 40. Yeah.
Yeah. So or about 38, I should say.
Almost 40.
And even before that, another, since 1970s, mid 1970s, I had a pen pal in Sapporo, an elementary school. So I think from the time of 1973 or 70, I've been interested in Japan. I've been interested in Japan ever since I was a 3rd or 4th grader or 5th grader, somewhere around that time.
Yeah, longer than me, because I was interested in the world, of course, but I never thought of Japan like you did. I never had a pen pal.
I thought Japan was exotic. I thought New Zealand was exotic, and I had a pen pal in both places.
Yeah, see, I never had pen pals.
But ironically, I recently became acquainted with reacquainted with my pen pal in New Zealand.
Well, see, that's the thing. Our generation, we do that kind of thing, but the current students, and I'm talking college students, 18 to 24 that I teach, they're interested in going out in the world, but they don't want to have online connections like that. They don't do a pen pal or anything. But if I set up a visitation, an online or a Zoom kind of thing, they jump in and they do that, but they don't do it themselves. And it's kind of odd.
It's fascinating actually, because I think in our generation, those kinds of things were truly unusual and rather exotic, and there was much less diversions in terms of media and entertainment, and no internet and things like that. So you couldn't have face-to-face communication with those people.
I think you hit it. I think, because there was no internet, there was no chat, no SNS, no immediate or video chat.
And it was a thrill just to get a letter from New Zealand or Japan.
Yeah. When was the last time you got a letter?
I mean, it's years, typically years and years and years.
I did, every year in March or so, I get a letter from a former student of mine about 28 years ago.
Well, it's remarkable that they take the time to do that.
But it's funny because she never signs her name, so I don't know who it is. She knows me, and I made an impression 28 years ago. And every year I get a letter, and actually a couple years ago she sent me the letter, and here's the 2,000 yen that I borrowed from you 27 years ago.
Do you remember who it is?
No. I don't. I've gotten kind of hints. I know it was a former air student that I taught at my college 27 years ago, the first time I was at this college.
Yeah,
that I know. And she's been married and divorced already, and because she told me the story that her husband was abusive and didn't want to have children, and she wanted to have children, but now it's too late because she's in her mid 40s now. So imagine they're in the mid. So she just talks, and I hope you're okay, and here's your money. I forgot to give this to you 25 years ago or something. But she never signs her name, and she doesn't give me a return address. She sends it to the school, which is fine. She mails it to the school. It gets to me, but there's no return address. But she writes it all in English, and it makes me feel good that 27 years later, she's still using the English that I taught her.
Yeah. Well, you had quite an impression on this student,
obviously, and enough to give her money, but it's kind of, but outside of that letter, I don't get letters. Even my mother used to send me a letter once every quarter, but she doesn't do that anymore because now email is more convenient.
Yeah, it's by far more convenient.
Yeah. So,
but I'll tell you what, it was interesting. I worked at I can't remember where it was. I think it was an elementary school at the time. I was working in an elementary school, and they had a partnership somehow with this school in Iraq. Iraq.
Yeah.
So I was able to help with the English part because the school's English was not good. And even the English coordinator, their English was not good. And so I was able to help bridge the cultural thing, because in Iraq, the teacher who taught English, her English was very good, and her Japanese was at an N3 level.
Right.
So she could communicate quite well in Japanese.
Nice.
But her English was at a very good conversational level. No problem to communicate with her whatsoever.
Excellent.
And she was a teacher at the school in Iraq. So the kids, that was kind of interesting for the kids, I think. But I don't think it was that big of a deal, really.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal anymore. Well,
no.
But times have changed, and when it comes to these clubs like the Japan American Society, I always wonder what's going to happen in 10 years when some of these people, or 10 or 20 years, when some of these people, God forbid, are dead or unable to do the job anymore. Who's the next generation to recruit and to do these things? That's what That's what
Yeah.
I'm looking
Well,
to.
it's just like I was reading an article, the news broke last night that the great lyricist and composer or librettist, playwright Stephen Sondheim died.
Yeah.
And he was, one of the greatest figures in the history of American music and the Broadway musical.
Right. Yeah.
And he was going strong. I mean, he had no idea that he was going to pass away. And he just given an interview the other day with the New York Times, and he also had been spending time with friends at Thanksgiving, and having a happy Thanksgiving, and then he passed away the next day. But his music, for example, is are you going to have another Stephen Sondheim?
Don't know. I think you might have already have another Stephen Sondheim. I mean, you have the guys who did the Disney things with Elton John, the Disney guys who did Lion King. You have a lot of guys who have put out great musical events for Disney. Rains is his name. I can't remember. There's like 4 or 5 writers. Elton John was part of the team that did Lion King, the Beauty and the Beast, those kind of things. Now they're kind of, it's a Disney thing, but musically, really cool stuff. So really innovative stuff and great lyrics. But yeah, at the level of Stephen Sondheim, I think society doesn't care about the Stephen Sondheims anymore in America.
Yeah, I don't think it has the same impact that it once did.
I'll put it this way. Okay, I mean, now I'm gonna really narrow the focus. I mean, Slide Hampton died just before Thanksgiving.
Oh,
I mean, to me, if I weighed Stephen Sondheim against Slide Hampton in my life, Slide Hampton had more impact. I met Slide Hampton. I got to meet him in Indianapolis. We're talking the Indianapolis trombone players, the J.J. Johnson, Slide Hampton. We got all these nice guys. But if you listen to Slide's music, man, if you listen to music that he wrote, and he brought hard bop to trombone. I mean, Curtis Fuller died earlier this year, another trombone player, right?
Yeah.
That's the same group that created the modern trombone. And I remember Marshall Gilkis was talking about this when I went to America before the pandemic. You got to listen to these. Everyone likes Bill Watrous, Frank Rosalino or Carl Fontana. Those are the great trombone players. But he said, those guys are good. But he liked to listen to J.J. Johnson and Slide Hampton and Curtis Fuller. And now I'm not going to get into black and white players. You have white players against black players. But he said that they took trombone to another edge, which is really nice. And if you listen to, and Slide Hampton played trombone left-handed. You remember that? He played it left-handed. So, and he played a big horn like JJ. They played these big, King 3Bs or the 8H, old big straight 8H, no triggers, just big fat horns, and he's like blowing the crap out of it. It's so cool, and made me sad to see that not much acclaim was made when Slide Hampton died. Like you said, Stephen Sondheim died. I saw it here in Japan, and it was a blip.
Yeah, well, it's a blip here on the news too. Really.
Stephen Sondheim and Bernstein created West Side Story. I mean, he was part of that team.
They were great friends.
Man, and in some of the music, I remember, oh man, Send in the Clowns is one of the most poignant songs that I love.
It's
simple, yet powerful. I mean, Into the Woods is one of my favorite Sondheim musicals.
Well, I think his favorite was Follies.
Follies is great. I love Follies. But think about it. We're talking about it. How many young people would know that?
I don't know, but it's not like it used to be, because there's so, like, here again, there's just so many different versions, and the way education has gone, it hasn't been geared towards keeping people up on American culture like of that sort.
Right. Well, the Grammys were just announced. Also, going with the Grammys were just announced this week, right? And what surprised me and made me happy is like one of the albums of the year nominations is Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett's album.
Yeah.
Which Tony Bennett's is his retirement album. This guy's 90 years old and he's still, I mean,
he has severe, he now has severe Alzheimer's disease.
But he was able to pull out this album.
Because his singing's untouched, apparently. I mean, it has his 90-year-old quality. But man, he swings. Yeah.
I mean, when you listen to Lady Gaga is a great singer, and I appreciate her as a musician. But
me too.
But she doesn't swing. You can tell. But her heart and feeling are there, and that's what I like about her. She has a respect for the music.
Yeah,
and I understand that now the taste of music in the world, and I'm saying the world because it's not just America, but the world. You know, hip hop, rap, the what they call R&B now, the modern R&B, not the traditional R&B. But the modern R&B and all this stuff has its basis, you know, in the popularity.
Tell me who the Korean boy band is that's really huge, popular right now.
I don't know.
There's I forgot what they were. Yeah. They had big hits last year.
Right. Korean boy band.
It's not Need You.
Let's see what Google band. BTS.
BTS. I'm sure it was BTS. I think BTS is in LA right now.
Yes,
in America.
Yes, it's BTS. I saw that on the news. On the news.
Me too. So I saw it on the news as well.
I saw it here on the news, and the Japanese news were talking about them there. It's like
I saw it on the news here in America because I guess I should say it.
What?
I'm in America right now.
What?
Yes. This is my American residence right now, where I'm staying at right now, and my wife and family are currently still in Japan right now, waiting to reunite.
Keep talking, Greg. I'm the BGM.
So I am in America, and I just came here at the end of September, and that was the most surreal experience because I came for a great opportunity.
You have done something I have never done. In my life. I mean, I've gone back to America, but you've gone back to live and to stay there. And I'm going, whoa, for a longer time than I ever did. I mean, gone back. The longest I ever went back was 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, you recall that when I got when I came to Japan in 2013, I left Japan August 5th of 2013 and came back to America, and I stayed until the end of September.
Right.
2013, so that I could get my permission to come back to Japan.
Right.
And then with the permission, I'd get a visa as soon as I arrived in Japan.
Right.
And so that's what I did, because that's what my goal is, and we worked through that. And that was 8 years ago, more than 8 years ago.
But now you're back there, and
I'm in America, and I've been here for a month and a half or almost 2 months now.
Okay, so now how's it feel?
Oh, it was very surreal to come back. It was like a tremendous culture shock, as I had anticipated. And I don't think I had anticipated the magnitude of culture shock. But
what I want to know is, I know that you spent your Thanksgiving in America, and you got to see your brother, which is family. That's what you do.
Yeah, it was great.
But you went to see him by a mode of transportation that most Californians don't think about. How did you see your brother?
I went by train, and I went
very
by Amtrak.
Japanese of you.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't like the Japanese system, and it was very interesting because I haven't been on Amtrak since 1984 or 85.
Well, I've been on Amtrak more than you have then, I guess, since that time.
I guess so, but I wrote it more than 35 years ago to go see a friend that we had in university who lived in the Bay Area at the time, or who's I think why did I go up there? I think he went up there for the summer, and so we had a mutual friend. And I wrote an Amtrak at that time, but I wrote it this week to go see my brother because it's convenient from where I'm currently at in California. and very convenient. So I decided to do that, and the fare was very cheap, and so I took the train. And I went to see my brother. But the thing is, the train was 2.5 hours late getting to my station where I was at, and so that delayed my arrival in Southern California. Not Japanese at all, and so that was frustrating. But I was able to make dinner and have a great steak at Arnie Morton's, which is Morton's of Chicago Steakhouse. I had a terrific steak. I saw my brother and friends that I've had for a long time, and it was surreal being there because it'd been such a long time. It'd been 4 years because I came back in 2017 for about 10 days,
right?
And then but I'm back in America.
It's funny though. Tell me about the train car, the seat and the car that you sat in.
The train is this clunky, like bulky, huge behemoth. It's a monstrous machine. It's a monstrous car.
And very American.
2 levels. Yeah. They have 2 levels. You can lower level and upper level. And lower level has apparently plenty of room for luggage and things like that. And they have the restrooms downstairs. But the upper level has the seating, and the seating is table seating. You can sit at a table, and you can. But the chairs seem to be stationary or set. And I don't think they can be turned around like they can to the
on
degree
the Shinkansen,
or on the train system in Japan,
right?
On those trains that so I think I think the gauge of the track is bigger. It's a bigger gauge track, than Japan, but it's a smelly diesel train. The horn's very loud. They have a cafe car, which you can go get snacks and things,
right?
Which is kind of nice. But
how was the food?
I didn't try the food on the train.
Oh, okay.
So there was a line, and I wasn't interested in staying
in
line.
They didn't have the cart girls with the who.
No. those I think America could learn a lot from the Japanese in terms of their transportation systems.
Well, and I think the like you said, the behemoth, that the idea of the big train. You rode on a 2-decker train, Shinkansen train here in Niigata when you lived in Niigata, called the Max, which has now been discontinued. But they're going to bring a couple of weeks ago. So, but they're bringing back. They're going to bring back a new one eventually.
What's new? They're going to bring back a double-decker.
Yeah, a new one, but it's going to be remodeled. They're working on it.
Oh, great.
So
okay.
Probably 4 or 5 years, we'll have another double-decker.
Great, you'll have a double-decker again, huh?
But
you've got the tunneling system for that.
Yeah,
the tunnels were designed for that, so that would be great.
So compare the 2 double-deckers in terms of the ride, smooth and the quietness.
No, the Shinkansen, the bullet train, is far, far smoother and far faster and far more reliable.
Oh, reliable. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing because the reliability of the American system is terrible.
Yeah.
It's we were late 10 minutes getting here today where I'm at right now. So.
Well, let me ask you a question, and I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. What is the rule about when you approach railroad tracks in America? If the gate's not down, or you can just drive over?
Well, if you see the flashing red lights, you have to stop, I think.
Of course, but if there's no flashing lights
you don't have to stop. Whereas anyone in Japan, a licensed person such as ourselves, and I should say that before I came back to the United States, I extended my driver's license in Japan. So when I come back and drive, when I go back and see my family and friends, I can drive. Yeah,
I'm a friend.
Yep. So, but
in Japan, you must stop at every railroad crossing. It doesn't matter whether it's a blinking light or not. You must stop, and you will get ticketed if a cop sees you.
Yeah,
they will give you a ticket, and it's a major ticket. It's not like drunk driving, but it's not like it's even the same level as speeding. If you're speeding, it's at 1 or 2 points. If you don't stop at tracks, it's 1 or 2 points.
Against your license.
Against your license. Down in Japan, if you have 3 points, basically 3 strikes, you have no more license. You have no right to have a license ever again.
Ever again.
Ever again. That's it. Ever again.
That's a huge penalty.
Yeah. So Japan is very severe when it comes to that. So
what is if you're driving while intoxicated?
Goodbye.
How many points is that?
It's 3 points automatic.
That's automatically, huh?
You lose it.
That's amazing.
Because what they'll do is you do it, and in Japan you cannot deny, you cannot refuse taking a breath test. If you refuse, that means you're admitting guilt, and you're automatically, you lose your license.
Whereas some Americans or foreigners would argue with that system, but they have no right to argue with it because that's not their country.
Not their country, and Japan doesn't want people drunk driving. That's it. Pretty simple.
Well, I think that's good. Yeah. I mean, it's I think actually it's good. I know that I will never drink and drive like that. You know,
I mean, here and I know in California, because I've done it, and I'm not saying I'm pure, no, but you go out and you have a few beers with some people, or
or a glass of wine or something.
Glass of wine, and then with dinner and a couple glasses of wine, and then you drive home.
That's quite common here. Yeah,
it's very common, and that's normal. But here, if you have one glass of something, everyone automatically calls a daiko. Right? You know the daiko system.
Yeah. What, and to explain.
A daiko is kind of like a taxi service. What it is
right.
You're calling another guy in another car.
Yeah. And they bring your car.
Right.
And they take you home in a taxi.
It's a taxi with two people in it, and they drive up. One guy gets out of the car and drives your car. You stay with him in your car, but he's driving. You tell him where to go, and the other taxi follows and then picks him up and takes him up. So that's
a good service,
and it's the same price. I mean, and there's no tipping in Japan, so you don't have to tip the guy or anything.
Yeah,
it's not, but that's how they prevent.
I remember being at an event one time, 6-7 years ago, and somebody did that. They hired a service, and that was in Shibata. So,
you were with me for a Rise Up Bonenkai.
Yeah.
The end of the year party. And Homo-san, remember, Homo-san was drinking and he ordered a daiko.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. Homo-san is actually the manager of the Rise Up Big Band, which I'm the director of. So he's the founding member and a manager. But we don't think about it. It's just, you budget yourself. If you're going to have a party, you got money for the party, money for your drinks, and money for your daiko. If you drive, I mean, it's automatic. Everyone thinks that. Or when everyone's at the end of the evening, are you okay? You okay? You need a daiko. Okay, they call the restaurant has a list of daiko right there in the. You just tell when you say kaike, you say, I'm ready to pay. Kaike kudasai. Hi. And they come up, they bring you money, and then you say, daiko kudasai. Hi. Okay. And then you say, give me a daiko. Call the pickup taxi. And then they go and they call, and then they come back and tell you when you bring you your change. Oh, your daiko will be here in a few minutes. And so you get ready, you say goodbye, go outside. The daiko's waiting for you.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of dining,
and you hand them your keys, and boom, you go home.
Mark, speaking of dining experiences, I went to a restaurant last night in near Universal Studios.
I saw that, and I saw it briefly when we quickly chatted.
Yeah, I think I'd called you or something.
I called you.
You called me. That's right. So anyway,
and it was really cool. Looked good.
So there was celebrities often dine there because it's right near the studios, this Universal, and I mean, for example, Harrison Ford, he's often been there, and it's almost like he had a table. But anyway, there was a waitress who had been in America for 20 years, and she was Japanese. So I spoke to the waitress, and we had a good chat.
What was her name?
I don't remember her name.
Oh, that's good.
And
you're married, so that's good.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I actually interesting to chat with another person who can speak Japanese. And I was able to practice my Japanese because even in the short time that I've been here, living here, because I came to take this great opportunity.
Right.
My Japanese is getting rusty, so I only speak it with my family and stuff, and I don't speak it every day. I don't see the Japanese
problem is,
every day.
yeah, you're not immersed in the Japanese.
No, but there again, we could talk about language immersion and language learning, and how do people learn languages. One of the ways is you just immerse yourself into the language and you do whatever it takes to learn the language. And
in my experience with teaching here and living here and sending students around the world, immersion's the best. I mean, I have a student in Germany, and she didn't study. She's a little bit of German here. She went to Germany, and now she's got level 1 German, and she's fluent, and she's qualified to go to university now in Germany.
Right. And so the thing is, but for me, sometimes immersion, total immersion where no using English whatsoever was sometimes painful.
Yes, I love it. No pain, no gain.
Well, but it was painful.
I mean, each person has their limits and what affects their language. For me, I'm the opposite of you, because when I came to Japan at the 30 some odd years ago, I was in a small town of only 10,000 people with only 3 people who spoke English besides me. And they were
had absolutely no option.
They were not available to me every day. So I had no choice. Either you sink or swim, and I swam, and boy, I enjoyed it.
I remember though, as I was developing my level of Japanese, fluency in Japan, I remember, I can understand this now.
Right.
And I was gradually, because when I got there 8 years ago, my level of Japanese was pretty low. It was based on what I had studied in school and what I'd remembered 40 years ago.
Right.
But so it was increasing. It was nice to see it increase. And as I studied and went to the college for my Japanese program, over the year and a half that I was involved in it, my level of Japanese increased rapidly, and it was great to. Well, I really am glad I did that.
And what also helped you, I think, is, like you said, you had an active interest in Japan since 1973.
Yeah,
I mean that. I had no interest. So therefore,
but you just come. But the thing is, you have. I think to really do well at something, like, you have to like it.
I do like it. So
what I mean is, you have to like it. You have to like it. Like, you have to like playing the trombone. You have to like painting a picture.
Right. I don't like painting.
I hate this picture, and you're not going to be a Rembrandt or a Van Gogh or whatever. Because
but I like painting the walls.
Yeah. So anyway, So
I'll be a Bill Rembrandt.
So anyway, it was, happy Thanksgiving, Mark.
Happy Thanksgiving and happy pre-Christmas.
Yeah. So we've God, this has been a fast musings from Japan.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up, and we'll try to get one out before the Christmas holiday. Let's try to make it a point within the next 4 weeks or so to try to do a Christmas.
Well, I'm coming back to Japan, so
what?
Yeah, I'm coming back to visit.
Oh, visit!
Family, so yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Let's make it a deal. When you come back to Japan, we do a Christmas thing, okay?
Okay, Des.
Me, Greg, we do these together.
Yeah. Well, I heard a lot of Spanish this weekend, by the way. Yeah. You would have loved it. You would have loved it.
Yeah, I had we'll talk about this next time on
deal.
Musing from Japan 42. But
42.
But this is Musing from Japan 41.
41.
So, 皆さん、ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
グレッグ、お疲れ様でした。
お疲れ様でした。
気をつけてね。
はい、気をつけて。
Maybe be careful, okay? Yes, be careful. Hi. Thank you, everyone. See you next time. Ciao.